Kodende to pasa hukumia sing enjonimbe kumanyia naraliaya arabeka kokwana ase enseme yase umonjongori kigenda kutengana Ndizi TV abosangana into karengele kya wetera ase omtanda of Facebook Ndizi TV News Digital naboigo wetera ase ntira ya YouTube Ndizi TV News naboigo na utolikira yuko ya wetera ase namba 0792192384 usangana into maboli kyaya obwate ase emambya bono. So good morning, dear listeners on Ndizi TV. The show begins now. We are having a visitor by the name Ian Shaw. Welcome to the studio. Good morning.
Job, thank you very much for inviting me.
Wow, we're so glad to host you. Is it your first time in Kisii, or you've been here before?
I've been here a few times before.
Right.
I've lived in Kenya now for 15 years with KAPI Limited.
Now,
so, yes.
Now maybe a brief introduction about yourself. Who is Ian Shaw?
Ian Shaw, I'm the owner and managing director of KAPI Limited. Formerly from the UK, I was born in Kenya many years ago, 1960, so pre-independence. And yeah, that's me. My life for the last 15 years has been KAPI, which is a formulator of largely natural insecticides for the household, for public health, and of course for agriculture.
Omenyire asense ya Kenya asimiaka 15 aseigo nigo aro umunya kirogo osumu managing director we kampuni ya KAPI Limited bonajwe tumanya amange igoro ye pesticide ya evo se eliogiri osera chinyeni. Can you give a small overview about KAPI Limited? What is KAPI Limited and when was it started and how do you operate?
KAPI Limited was started back in 1964 at a time when Kenya controlled the pyrethrum market. It was the global leader in pyrethrum. So KAPI started as a manufacturer and formulator of pyrethrum products. It's evolved. I bought KAPI in 2008, at which time pyrethrum was having a pretty bad time. And so KAPI was in, shall we say, a little financial fix. And so I took KAPI over, gave it new direction, new life. We managed to work so that we've got a very positive return to pyrethrum. But also one of the key thrusts of our research team has been that we wanted to start to look for alternative organic insecticides and not be totally reliant upon pyrethrum.
All right, that's great. And tell us about the pesticide and tell us about the approvals and certification. Is it approved? Is it certified?
Yeah.
For the interest of the listeners.
Well, this new product, it's a product called AGRIPEST Organic 75 EC, is for us, it's a total game changer for Kenyan smallholder farmers. The biggest issue, Job, with pyrethrum is that fundamentally it's really quite expensive. So for people who are protecting their limited income, it makes an insecticide a very expensive proposition. So we've worked on AGRIPEST. We started the research back in 2017. So it's been over 6 years in the research and registration. It's a unique product. Should I tell you a little about it or about the registration first?
You can speak about the registration.
Yes. Fully registered. It's registered with PCPB. Registration completed 2 months ago. So fully registered. In addition to being registered with PCPB, It's also certified with Kilimo High as an organic input, and for smallholder farmers who supply to export companies, it's also certified with EcoCert, which is a global certifier.
Molto morero Ndizi TV na bere wate abuna nigo eliogelio lie bako tumeka usarra ebintu na mono bigo ita ebidudu bose bigo ita na bigo ite bintu bingi bya bigo chanda ayobuno muremi otebuna eliogeli ndikiri na boy ndire liantire ne serikali ya Kenya. Now talk about your pesticide. What are the ingredients of the pesticide?
Well, the ingredients, obviously, we've worked for 6 years on this product, so the ingredients are fairly well protected, and the last thing I'd like to do is disclose on TV. What I can tell you is that the active ingredient, so the kicker, is derived from Croton megalocarpus, which is a tree that's indigenous to Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. So KAPI, through its associate company, purchases the nuts. The nuts are extracted to get a cold-pressed oil. We then work on the oil to clean it and modify it so that we get this pretty unique Croton megalocarpus oil that we term Magalo oil. The other ingredients are inert, beneficial, 100% organic.
Now, maybe before we go very far, I want to get maybe the difference between the organic and the other inorganic pesticides, because yours is from inorganic. Maybe it has been made from organic ingredients. What is the difference between that?
Huge differences. I think the best way to start is potentially to look at the residues. Chemical insecticides carry residues. It gives them the residual efficacy. But a residue, in simple terms, is a poison. So when you apply a chemical insecticide to your crop, you're knowingly spraying a poison on your crop, which is fine. It controls insects. But there's a term called the PHI, which is the pre-harvest interval. And chemicals tend to have a long PHI. And say a chemical has got a 7-day PHI, that means that from the moment you spray, you should not harvest until 7 days. Now, unfortunately, not everyone in the world is disciplined. So people tend to spray, then 3 or 4 days later or 2 days later, they harvest and they sell. And in selling, whilst it's still within its PHI period, they're effectively selling chemical crop that have got chemical poisons still on them. So I think in Kenya, there's a growing awareness about the harm of residues. With AGRIPEST, because it's an organic product, it's got a PHI of 1 day. You spray today, you harvest tomorrow, no residue. So it's fundamentally incredibly safe. That's the biggest, but not the only difference.
You say the biggest.
Yes.
Are there other differences?
Lots.
Maybe you can mention 2
Yes.
or 3, the top.
Okay. I'd say the next most important is resistance. Chemicals are fairly simple molecules. They're designed in a way that they attack an insect in a very simple solo manner, a single mode of action. So if I give you a boxing analogy, a chemical does this repeatedly. So it's very easy for the insect, whether it's tutor or whitefly or thrip, to work out that, hey, if I do this, I'm safe. So very quickly, farmers throughout Kenya are very aware that very quickly the insect pests that give them concern get resistance against the chemical that they employ. So what do farmers do? They either switch chemicals or they increase the dose. So if they're starting at 1 ml per litre, they think, right, it's not killing well enough, I'll go to 2 mils, 3 mils, 4 mils. So the cost increases, and so does the poisonous residue that remains on the crop. With AGRIPEST, we've got a unique organic formulation. The Croton megalocarpus, through research, has got 6 broad esters. Now, what that means is that an ester is essentially the active ingredient. So that insect is getting attacked from 6 directions. So instead of this, you're getting...
Wow.
And so the insect cannot react and therefore cannot develop a resistance. That's number 1. Number 2, in terms of resistance, is that we are so proud of the fact that KAPI is the first company and AGRIPEST is the first product globally to use Croton megalocarpus as an active ingredient in an insecticide. So the insects simply have never experienced this natural molecule. It's totally new. So resistance is 0 and resistance should remain 0. So the 3 mils per litre that you apply AGRIPEST at today will be the 3 mils that you'll apply in, say, 3 months, 3 years, 30 years. It will not increase because resistance will not be an issue.
Wancho murigiri yani goto wende to sanga na Ian Choyore omo managing director with company KAPI Limited. Also abere auto manyinga nigo eriogi bako bako ananya ebi anene mono digo ita abaduru na boy goligo ita ebichuni ebinte ebindi bebiri go chanda abaremi na boy go anene mono na bodo kulo ka bantang bane to kulo eriogo liokuri chinyeni lakini ni eriogo ita abadudu asabira tabanga nige yogi diro siri korwa se emeteli eritosimegete ani emeteli yegi Africa aise igo ndibua ti chemical endeyon se maeta matuka mange ni gabero tabuna nubuna baremi abange baino nigo moko bekera usine okubeka age fune kerukeria kemo and kasi to wate abanga tigambe ndege kenaende ndorenga akoranga ebituni ebyanchandire ebi abadudu abanchandire tigambe ente naende lindenke ndorenga ose nimbi kyagera kubeka lero okay kwa ite bituni birakire rende anda matuko makaiga naende koranga ndibyo koraga konya komenda bono kwanya oranga nigo ogenda to komente eliyo gase chinyini naende kwanya oranga eliyo body did recommended that make asingi kigete kwanya oranga asenge njukwa beti eliyo body ya matuko mangi kwanya oranga no ene chemical chiri cyasura mubiro asingenje kwabeke dossier nene asingenje niko ebichuni biriyo konyoranga busaba dudu bariyo konyoranga ngo ikabara asigete batwara kunyamasi ose batwara resistance yoko ene kinga eliyo limbali njiko jiwa ndiri yani bichuni mbiri ko iguriyo geri sikonyoranga ibebe biko cyanda muri kurende obera tenge eliyo geri yabo liryo nige kero kwa beri bose yari bakinyeni cyabo samatunda abo okonyoranga bichuni biri mbinaleti Mario Gaya ikegera Mario Gaya nigale kurwa sensemo hani ekienyeji yani tali Mario go turatebenga abekeire abekerichi chemicals aseigo konyora nairo tebirenga egento nandekere kenenkelinga enere company entangani korosia eliogo korwa se ebinto ebya kawaida yani emeteri tokorokanga natural emeteri ya yege koro enere kampuni ntangani aseigo ekerojo tumeke elioge lidiao manyanga ndirigo chikotwara madhara ande yonsi na ende bichu nimbina de tirioge ande atenga lirorio kerogo onye kwacha gotumeke kombe kemo ose ekefune kere kemo na kiora go tumeka mbaka omweli ikiagere liri bwate chinguru kegima liranyali goite bichuni liranyali goita ebinte binge ase ensemo yokwene kinga aibuno mulemi wono tiko chotwara chinga kichinkongu ekero okobago tumeka eliogeli. Now you can talk about, has this drug been tried?
Tested.
And tested?
Completely.
How long?
6 years in research. During that 6 years, we have worked with an incredibly prestigious global institution. It's Kew Gardens in London. They're considered to be the foremost plant specialist institution in the world. We've been lucky enough to join hands with them on this Croton megalocarpus project. They've had scientists, chemists working with KAPI, so they've done a lot of checks. KAPI has done a lot of checks. Going through the registration process, you have got to conform to all the toxicological requirements and so on. So in terms of safety, we are using all the ingredients are food grade 100% natural products. So for humans, incredibly safe. For pets, for mammals generally, incredibly safe. For the environment, absolutely. I mean, it's so natural that all a farmer has to do is walk out into his shamba and look at where the nuts from the croton tree in his shamba have fallen. Is it beneficial to the soil or is it detrimental? It's beneficial.
Abera tumanyinga nige lyoge lyabetyo kolero botuki ase miaka 5 nemo 6 years ne nsemo eyemo buse skuru eyemo yobotuki ase ense ya London igotari lyogo turatebenga nelie malyogo nararo siri onyoranga arosiri yekienyeji muntu gitaigure ta company gete lakini gento gakoni gikere fake lakini kolende lyogo lido original elio likolero botuki matina bataya baligeli bandizi tilibuna asensemo yokorosi malyogo bosokorosi kenegions wigakira kolero botuki wigakira aligeli nabamanyi aba scientist kira aligeli kegima muntu bagulika chi document kegima lia kolero botuki lia atemerwe kemelia kemelikene bakini eliogo lyotebirenga lilorundi kolero botuki kegima ase miaka 5 nemo kwene kinga eliogeli eliogo orajikolera lichigo chanda ase enkeli yago neliogo lirachigo konya omwanchumuriria on Ndizi TV aseigo neliogo ligia kegima. Now every pesticide has a way it has to be applied. There is some that is sprayed. There are many methods of applying pesticides. How about this one of yours?
AGRIPEST is a contact insecticide, so it's very important that first of all, it's sprayed. It's 3 mils per litre, diluted with clean water into a knapsack and spray. But what the farmer must ensure is good coverage of the crop. If AGRIPEST does not come into contact with the pest, it won't kill. So it's not systemic. It's impossible to get an organic and systemic plant-based organic product.
Now, you know, every drug has a duration at which you have to spray it. There is some that has to be sprayed in the morning. How about AGRIPEST?
We recommend that farmers spray either early morning or late afternoon. It's an EC formulation that utilizes oils. So if it's sprayed in the heat of the midday sun, then there's a very, very small chance that phytotoxicity will occur. Phytotoxicity is a scorching or burning of the plant. So to avoid that, you spray early evening.
Oh, that's great. Now, right, we've spoken it, but I want you to now do an emphasis, especially on the aspect of these other chemicals. They leave some residue. Yes, just an emphasis, and I know you had highlighted on it. How about AGRIPEST? Does it leave any residue after application?
It leaves a residue, but that residue has completely disappeared after 24 hours. All of our research suggests that the residue in any case is safe. So it's not leaving a chemical residue, it's leaving a natural residue. But just to safeguard farmers, consumers, totally, we say that it should be consumed 24 hours after spray. So to be completely clear, if you and I were to spray a mango or an avocado or a tomato right now, then we could pick it up tomorrow morning, same time, and eat it in the total confidence that it would be 100% safe.
All right, I want to us to do a little bit of comparison on the other chemicals, but before that, let me just explain to them. Mwanchu muri Ndizi TV nikabera otumanyinga niga kero kwa bero gosiarira eliogeri ase chinyeni chiao nigo urabi guguchiria maega yechinsa emerongene chabere chikoera oigate banga onyo gwasiarira ensa emo nechiteka emeronge bere unando chere saa 1:32 minutes nigo mambi aloja kulitumika 1 hour aseigo neliogo litari kuiregeka kegima ase irinda kwana kinga kwabiro kulitumika ase umo. Now when we compare with the other chemical pesticide, on average how long does the other chemical pesticide take before you consume that after spraying?
It's an interesting question, very good question. There are massive differences. There are some chemicals that leave residues for up to 180 days. That's half a year. Some chemicals leave residues for 90 days, a quarter of a year, 3 months. Some chemicals leave residues for 24, 21 days. Some chemicals for 18 days. And you can come right down to some chemicals leave residues for only 3 days. The way it tends to be in the market is the lower the PHI, so chemicals with a three-day PHI are very expensive. The very affordable, commonly used chemicals have got a very high PHI.
That's great. Mwanchu muri on Ndizi TV obera otumanyinga nigo ekemiki. And we say nigeli ogeli diabo yikoba ase kegetambe ase ekemiliki yawe yani ndigo tiga matekere manyango mwanchu muri on Ndizi TV omore miontegera tenkagari kera eliogo sialera chinyeni chiao ngotiga chire ensemo yete yekemike ebyo ase ensemo yechinyeni chia kolende elirirorwo amwa elitugelimo nabokulia ese yote kwirege kegetambe nigo ekeroko bagosiarira otari gotwara ngakichinkongu ase nchira ekeroko bagosiarira chinyeni chia ase umwancho muriria ni ayogori ya kigima eliogo orabi gotume kotagwati bwo babonde bonsi eliogo orabe ugutumika tuwatibo ubonda simu chumudiro Ndizi TV bikoto ganda kusangana Ian Shaw oyori omo managing director we kampuni ya KAPI Limited oganda kusangana into iguro yeliogo ya bikotunga AGRIPEST Organic 75 EC asikolene tiambe kinkuligelia asensemo yemitandao abo tuwagwetera asensemo ya Facebook Ndizi TV News digital asensemo ya YouTube Ndizi TV News abo gwetera asensera ya message na watu maliswa pia wose kwa karangari kyao wotera ase namba ya 0792192834 asenjera ye mitanda na wetera ase namba yesimi yambe inko limbara byabo ko sana into Bismarck mukwata mwa protect Bismarck kwa Kisii getembe Rubia niko ndani maname beloved wife Sharon and my son Eugene and daddy Atek and my family members ndo Shem Keburi atema watching live from diaspora. Someone's watching us live from diaspora, yes?
Fantastic.
You're saying preparing to sign out from chasing this back. Morning to my son Spencer and all my friends and enemies, also COG brothers. Let's worship this Sunday at Church of God of Mondo. He's a great friend from Canada. Yes. We can see good morning from Thika. For Josephat Omega, a password. Mwalimu Elijah Ojenke, following live from St. Catherine Academy, Kyoge, Kisii County, Market present. Good morning, watching live. Happy day to you, my friends, and fans of Ndizi TV. You guys forgetting my enemies. This is Dolphin Mora. Dolphin Mora is usually from diaspora. And also we have Teresa Ombogo, watching live from Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Kapedo Shema Tebanga, good morning. Evelyn Glorious, good morning all. And Ondima Kibra tenga Kibra Soweto Ndugu Darajani niko ndani yapo watching live from Kisii Nyamira, watching live from Nakuru. Kerandi Dennis, Nakuru, where you come from, you send your greetings.
Absolutely, our hometown.
Wow, that's great. Kiongozi Sefania Onserio, good morning from Rihanna Bonchari, mark me present. Good morning from Babadogo, Nairobi.
Good. We've launched in Nairobi.
Wow.
Yes, we've got a great presence in Nairobi.
That's great.
Yes.
So I say go to Ndizi TV. Kendra ko tengera Ndizi TV no moroverio wensakia moroverio chakretu ibicho chakretu Jumatatu go ika Ijumaa asite kubato go chanaba geni also ko sanga nabarabu amange igoro yamangana agendrete ime yense yaitwa Kenya amangana agendrete ase ense muyunje nabo igoto akatokoreta abageni baba otomania igoro ebintu agendrete ndota itutibusiko. That's why we brought a visitor here. We need you to know that there are new inventions that will help you as a farmer in whatever you're doing. Ase umuti mugelia nganchere ngende asumuti mukomoke kulenda katochwira nangu liko nganda tari kusanga nomo geneito ime studio ase amarieta kwa Ian Shaw oyori managing director we kampuni ya KAPI Limited yogate amagacha ye ase county ya Nakuru. Ase igo tobasa kusuka tobasa kupendale kwira nande ase ka
Ndizi TV Ubwansu Gusii.
Eskuru ya St. Anne's College ni gotogo kwari bagario komenta ebirengo byexemi ase chikosi au ndubwate ekosi ya ICT ase krengo ya certificate na diploma na boigo computerized secretarial ndubwate chikosi chinde buna assistive technician, video editing and sound production, computer technician and programming, web design egatie chinde ndubwate amaigerio yokobugia piano na boigo ebirasi bya computer asabana ba primary na secondary na boigo bali bakorire form 4 nigo togotoka ase chinsemo chikobwatia Kisii asamaga cha Uru Plaza egoroba ya gatatu angene benki ya Equity. Nyamira asamaga cha Timi Building ange na juakali asepare kogenda yanchure. Keroka asamaga cha Cooperative Bank egoroba entangani. Ogembo wa Kenya pamoja sako egoroba entangani. Suneka amagacho a Dennis Adwea ase esteji yechigari cha Migori. Nyakoe ase chiro ya Nyakoe angene junction ya Marani. Rigoma ase chiro ya Rigoma angena Vision Point Sako. Hoigo branch ya Borabu ejuwe gotoka imemo choki jauri. Erio kwerikia ni goganeirie result slip ya KCSE ekebande gose waiting card ebicha ye passport na boigo chilingi 500 chyo kwerikia. St. Anne's College, a center for professional academic excellence.
Nakumbuka siku ile nilipopelekwa shule, nililia kwa kelele.
Lois Academy Kisii ejere milimani angena milimani SDA neskuru yekerero yoboruso ibwata aborokia begiribuya ire asatoerero aborokiwa bagosomera nigo bobwete kigari cyobosombi asebali bakurware amache yuweshibya nabo igokonywa chinyomba cyakebara chinchenu kigima ribagarisa ine ryaborokiwa kugosoria negukinibye byabo mbabwate abarindi aseskuru yo nabo igonkurwa bali echayi ya sanne na lunch kubwati bali omurubyo CBC ayerera bwango onyorori bakasi skuru yo omwano abegati yabali yabake bakonyora migiryo yibirengo bigoro.
Hi everyone, my name is Victor Makoli, head teacher Lois Academy. In this school, we offer quality education and nurture learners' talents. In fact, this is home away from home. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Welcome all.
Nebukubakire simi ase namba enoti isano na ibere mara kabiri isano na iseto ibere ayemo gose enoti isano na ibere iseto ibere ayeme enoti. Lois Academy Kisii. Knowledge is power. Esukuru yokurwa morokerio yobubwenia ya Ram Training College egutoka imeyomo chukisi nige ukumanyebuna nigo bakurwa morokerio yebirenko bigoro na nigo bancheire nekeombe kiamangana yechisemi Technical Vocational Education na Nursing Council of Kenya nigo babwata mabaga asechikosi chikobwatia Diploma in Nursing, Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics, Medical Social Work Voigo nkwegeria bale Theater Technology amaigirio a HTS NASCOP nkurwa bale nigo baokora matemwa a Kenya National Examination Council gusenek asebali bakurwa tambe mbabwate chi hostels chokomenya nigo bale asenyegitari ya Ram ere ange nekigambiro kia Kisii Low Courts mbabwatoro sagyaronde ange ne kanisa Deliverance Church imeyomo chukisi apply riba gabono ase PO Box 81-40200 Kisii gose oa Kisii miase namba enotisano na ibere yemo isato marakabere ibere yemo enotisano gose enotisano na ibere yemo isano na ibere enoti marakabere ibere isano na ibere isano nemo gose enotisano na ibere isano na ibere kianda enoti isano nemo inye kianda nabokubalikira liuko ase email yabo info.ramcollege@gmail.com. Negenteki ya konyori bintu byo gutumika aseduka na negenteki ya mono konyori duka buna Capital Lights and Electrical Limited ejeko nya chitaya chiwaya nebintu binde binge byo gutumika asistima nkoni yabale chiwall brackets chiwaya cha East Africa Cable CCTV full moon floor lights extensions panel lights 4-feet tubes and 2-feet tube key sockets na room heater chifa snake lights, garden lights, fridge guards, chandelier lights, security lights, na solar floodlights. Banyore imeyomo chukisi opposite DTB Bank, angena Shell Petrol Station. Nepokuba kirisimi ase namba enotisano na ibere, enotisano nemo, inyesano niseto, enoti marakabere. Capital Lights and Electrical Limited, where quality meets the purpose. Laboratory ya Dynapath nigebwate ebirenko byeigoro byobokoreri bokorenka marwaire bagotumia teknoloji yekerero nechi machine chekerero gwetera sobokoreri bwabo bya nigo bancheire nekeombe gia Kenya Medical Laboratory Tech and Technologist Board iliyokurwa bokoreri yobwo
samugenda ngurukuna munarega kama elaptech from Dynapath Laboratories. Itari itumu ya tori tukurira marwiri na malaria, kuri tori sukari, tukapima blood pressure, kupima tori kidneys, kupima tori liver function test zonse bakoratori.
Nkuru barobokoreri buna microbiology, clinical chemistry, hematology, cancer screening, histopathology. Abo igokorenka amarwiri buna HIV, brucellosis, gose oburwiri bwa mabere, arthritis, nayanda mange. Boigon korenka bale omubere bwensi, asa marwiri buna prostate cancer, asa mange. Batalire imeju muchobosongo, asa magacho asansora complex center of Capital Roundabout angena National Bank kusoba kiresimi.
Najali afya yako, usigoje kuungua ndiposa ututembelee.
Dynapath Laboratories,
A legacy of excellence.
esukuru y'okwegerya oburundia bw'ekigali ya Rocky Driving School nige gukomanya buna mpabwatu bukoreri obya asebirengo ao by'oburundia bw'ekigali nabo kwegera ekerengo gya A2 B1 B automatic B professional C light track D1 echuchire PSV oburundia bw'ekimatatu kya 14 seater D2 PSV oburundia bw'ekibus CE heavy trucks F PWD chia bantu bali nobalema bwigomba bwate short courses chia BCD na B executive obuye bw'okwegira na Rocky Driving School mbulya buna ebirasi byabo nigo biri flexible chinga kicheri chonsi oratakase rituko nigo bagosomya omwaka omugima aborokia babo nigo banjire nekiumbe kiriye gikurira ly'obusera bw'oburunde bw'ekigali gia NTSA bwoyo nkwegirule asenze mu yemesa basic mechanics basic first aid na yanda mange batalire imejo rugongo Gusii asebali imejo muchukisi asenyumba ya Market Plaza irange na Uhuru Plaza chinsage chinde nigochire asemeche ya Nyakoe ensemo ya Kiogi Junction na boigo asumuchukil Goris mbabwati special offer bono asebali bakolire ekerasigia form 4 mwakere simi umu manager Rocky Driving School.
Gusii bono eduka ya obwanjete ya Enokem nigo yakoretero bokoreri bwaye gesiri na muno banyore asorusege rwabo yakegima orore imechi nsamo kiri cya yogo mbarabari na yogo primary nigo bakuru bokoreri buna burya bwo kubatoka chimbego go cya setugo yani artificial insemination aso kwenyorera embego iyo irageronyore tugingiya insira iyo wigo itali gwakona marwire ayirira natalira eduka ya Enokem yo mu cyobusongo iri kwenyorera amaryogo yo gusyarira bimeri endagira nechi supplement chetugo amaryogo yo gusyarira ekenyambi chimbusuro amoyo ebicucu byugotuga igatia yanda mange naboko banyora imiyo mu cyokisi asinyumbeli ya Kenyoro Farmers Cooperative Society iyira angena Market Plaza wigo urusegerunde nigorore mbarabare na Shell Petrol Station imiyo mu cyokisi iyo yakarukiru Falcon Station wigo naboko bakira esimi Enokem Agrovet growing healthier future one harvest at a time.
Ndizi TV obwansu bw'omugusi.
Ndizi TV ni togenda kusanga na Ian Show oyore managing director with kampuni ya KAPI Limited oyobera osangana into amangana ao anenemon arengete eliogo liji yababwate as eliogo litabwati madini ons and ons yechi chemical asabirika ototebia amange asebonoiga tugendete kusanga nere igoro yeliogo lija otengane eliogo rabe kusere chinyeni chia lakini maiga yechinsa kuse staika emeronge bere nene nabogota elinde olitumeke singencho yokone kinga ndiliko irigeka egetambi utarachitumeka amaliogo na mangi abantu bako bakutumeka kolende abaka kuiregeka kolen ekero utarachitumeka. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Job.
I remember before we went for the break, we shared a lot concerning the pesticide, and especially we talked about the residue. And now I want us to talk about the safety of the product. How is it safe to use this product?
Very safe. It's totally natural. I think if we look at farmers spraying and also consumers eating foodstuff, you've got a situation where you've got the spray drift, and then you've got the residue on the food. So with a harmful chemical, a farmer is catching the spray drift, and then potentially he's eating food that has got this residual poison. So he's getting caught in both ways. With AGRIPEST organic, if he gets caught with the spray drift, there's no toxicity, it's safe. So any of his family spraying the crop, they're safe. They should take normal PPE precautions, of course, but it's safe. If they're eating the crop and it's been sprayed with AGRIPEST organics, it's safe. 24 hours after spraying, totally safe to eat. So this is a wonderful, safe product.
So now, when you're using AGRIPEST, you don't have to wear PPEs or any
gear? What I said is you should take normal PPE precautions. I personally, when I spray AGRIPEST in my garden, I don't wear because I'm aware of how safe the product is. But you're spraying an insecticide, albeit an organic insecticide, so it's logical that you should take PPE, standard PPE precautions.
Now, another question is, how about, what are the harmful effects of using organic chemical? Yours is organic?
Correct.
What are now the harmful effects of using chemical pesticides? Now, yes.
That's such a good and broad range question. The effects are profound. I mean, I think I don't want to go into too much detail. Maybe if we talk about one chemical, because each chemical has got different physiological effects on human beings. So if we talk about a product, a chemical called chlorpyrifos, which about a year ago was banned by PCPB for use on vegetables, but is still permitted for use on cattle and on flowers. So it's still available in the country, and unfortunately, because it's still on all the AgriVet shelves, it's still used on vegetables. So it's a banned product in a certain way. Now, chlorpyrifos was banned in Europe almost a decade ago. It was banned in the USA about 18 months ago, and the USA, in banning it, said that they had established direct, incontrovertible evidence that chlorpyrifos led to brain tumours in children. So we're not, with these chemicals, we're not talking about a little rash on the skin. We're talking about potential, it depends on the chemical, but we're talking about potential cancer inducing, we're talking about nervous system affecting, very, very significant effects from chemicals. None of that with AGRIPEST organic.
Mwancho Murgeria Ndizi TV nitoele usanga Nomo Managing Director of kampuni ya KAPI Limited uyobere usanga na into amangana mange anamona sabira tutebinga ni igeli yogeli tabuati effect in the yonsi ase obuyuma bwa mwanya bantu na ende maita malio gayande na bwate ti chemical bero tenga kwanza chemical nero yabete kikokanwa ama tukakale lakini bono igenda gutumika korosi chiki amalio gaya tokuba tusera chinye nyaze ko mwanje murigeria ni lyogo lili yake gima lyogo rabi ko tumeka ase litabuati madara ndonse ase obuyuma bwa nyoranga malio gayanda na bwate cancer. These are the pesticides have cancer. They can cause cancer. The chemical.
You need to look at each individual chemical. People can Google these days. So you Google chlorpyrifos, you Google the name of whatever the chemical is. It'll show you. It'll tell you. You can check, because an interesting position is that there are something like between 40 to 50 chemicals that are permitted for use by farmers in Kenya that are banned in Europe, banned in the USA, banned in various other regions of the world. And they're banned because of extreme health concerns.
Otabiringa amalioga mangina ra utumekuwa asensemo yechi chemical ayuabwate ama komwa mandiara ba koleta sibu mawa kolende liogeli dia AGRIPEST ndebwate boko mubonde bonse ni mwancho morelia liogeli ne liogoli yakima sabete banga ndibwati madara onda onspi ase obugima obwanya bwanto. Now there's a listener at home asking himself, organic and chemical, most people, organic comes into their minds. Organic, something that is not very effective, something that is not very strong. How effective is your pesticide? How effective is it compared to the other ones?
Job, I think you've hit the nail on the head. When people, myself included before KAPI, when people thought about organic, you think it's going to be very expensive. And you think, from an insecticide point of view, you think that its efficacy, the amount of insects it will kill, will be pretty mediocre, not spectacular. With AGRIPEST Organic, we've turned that on its head. So the efficacy is very high and the price is very low. I'll give you some examples of efficacy, and just for the viewers, efficacy is expressed as a percentage, and typically farmers are very, very pleased if they see a kill rate percentage of above 70%, and in organic circles it's taken as being very good if it's above 60%. So if we look at the most common pests that affect this region, diamondback moth, AGRIPEST delivers 100% efficacy. Fall armyworm, which is a big one for maize farmers, 100% efficacy. Leaf miner, 100% efficacy. If we look at the three most common pests, so thrips, we achieve 80%. Aphids, we achieve 94%. Whiteflies, 92%. Mealybugs, 92.5%. For tomato farmers, tuta absoluta, which is a big problem, 80%. I mean, they're unbelievable efficacy results.
Wow, that's interesting. Mwancho muriro Ndizi TV obere gatebanga eliogeli na yani dikorosu korwa semete ya kawaida. Na yani korusi kwa asemete bitari komentwa kemikende yons. Eliogeli wada chinguru kegima nigo ligo kolega siaye amarioga yuaye niga guita ebichuni na boigo amakonde na boigo abadudu ase enchera enene mono asate banga niga marioga eliogeli digo ite binte byons bigo chakira sekerengo kia emerongo etato yani ase kerengo kia 80% wika ase kerengo kia emia 100% ase igone lioga tebanga liguate chinguru kegima. When we talk about organic, most farmers think it is a very expensive product because it's natural, you know. How cheap or how affordable is your product and its availability?
It's, in terms of price, what we set out to do was we want to revolutionize farming in Kenya. We're a proud Kenyan company, and we think it's essential that we provide an insecticide that is at a price point that allows all Kenyan farmers to eat safe food and to sell safe food. So the 6 years of research, an awful lot of that was based on coming up with a product that had got a very good price point. So the price, 50 ml bottle of AGRIPEST purchased by the farmer from the AgriVet. So end user price, 135 shillings. 100 mils, 170 shillings. It's as cheap or cheaper than harmful chemicals. So what we feel we are doing is we are removing the excuse that farmers have always had. Farmers up to now have said, well, chemicals kill and chemicals are affordable. We are now delivering a zero residue, 1 day PHI natural product that kills at a very high rate, that is as cheap as chemicals. Could I just take that a little bit further? Because one of the real beauties of AGRIPEST, I've just gone through 8 different insects that it kills at high rates. That means it's broad spectrum. It means it kills a wide range of pests. If you apply a chemical, so let's look at a tomato farmer. He wants to eradicate tuta. He buys a chemical that will kill tuta absoluta. If he's then got a problem with aphids, he needs to buy a different chemical that he sprays to kill the aphids. If he's got a problem with thrips, he needs to buy a different chemical. If he's got a problem with red spider mite, a different chemical. So he has 4 chemicals, all costing the same or more than AGRIPEST. With AGRIPEST, 1 spray, 4 pests controlled.
Well, that is interesting. So maybe perhaps for the interest of the viewers, what is the cheapest AGRIPEST product? And okay, which is the cheapest product? How much does it cost? As low as what?
That is the 50 mils. So 50 ml bottle from the AgriVet, and we, through distribution, I'll go through that in a moment, we want to have AGRIPEST available in every AGRIPEST in Kenya. That's the plan. And that's why I'm busy traveling around the country, meeting with all of our distributors. But I'll come back to that in a sec. So the 50 ml bottle is 135 shillings, all.
That is at the
end user price. That is the amount that the farmer passes to the AGRIPEST. For us, it makes huge sense. If the farmer wants the cheapest, he should get the 100 mils. Once you get to little bottles, the packaging becomes so expensive. So a 50 ml bottle is 135 bob. 100 ml is only 35 bob more. It's 170 bob. And that's almost 2 knapsacks worth of product for 170 bob. It's very cheap.
Ndizi TV unaendete kuigunga tebanga nigo asekerengege kepi okonyoranga etubeyemo ebwate 50 ml akachibakalia asindika bwate 50 ml kako ni 130 shillings asego niligo lirike lakini ekero bakoska bosio ase echuba elia 100 ml ekako ni 170
yes
170 asego niligo lirike 130 50 ml 175 na bokonyora echuba elienke ya 100 ml asego ndoche niligo lirike igo mwanchu muliro Ndizi TV abange baino ni matenge mubwato bobanga ekeronko ne ruwe yogeli keronko ne ruwe yogeli liro sikurwa se emiti ya kawaida na kienyeji ni gegembegera base gutwara ligo romo kino tebe ya ubunogo limo asensemo ya AGRIPEST eba utumike bintu bire kawaida mpaka usemete ya kawaida tabwati amadini ya chemical kolende eliogeli elide very effective ne eliogo oranyore akachuba kasini kolende kabwate akachuba kasini lakini kabwate chinguru kegima ande okonyora aserigoli ligoli like ando lakini obera ko recommendinga onye botate kuligora asenchira ere raisi mono to basa kumia somo buko muyogole 175 ogole 100 ml ogole 100 ml as 175 abokonyoranga eliogeli abeli bokonya ase ensemo yao now normally when I want us to compare the prices between the organic and the chemical. How is the prices? Now based on AGRIPEST.
Yeah, the usual situation is that chemicals are the cheaper option. So farmers know that there's some poison there, know that they're not good, but they know they can walk into an AGRIPEST, they can put 200 bob on the counter, they'll get a product that will kill, and they'll get a little bit of change. With AGRIPEST, we are at least matching the price of chemicals. So this product is, well, it's just unbelievable because you're getting all of the organic credentials. You're getting the zero residue, the health, the low mammalian toxicity, all of that at the same price as a hazardous chemical.
Wow. Adebrienga essence mo eligori migo egiogeli dolio okolinyora asiligori nama chemical and nama yoga yande chemical kolende obuya bwa embolinga eliogeli ndibuati chemical chilishira pachiko kuirera gotwaro goriro mabwa bose gotwara abakongode bonse kyaga chemical kuna to chimali chemical chikwata effects chinyenge so mo vero monto kolende ase eliogeli ndibuati effect ende yonse asigo moncho mweberia neliogo bene oragu kuligirira renga kwabere kokolitume kana bolida beligo konya ase obolimi wow. Now there's a farmer there who was bought into the idea of AGRIPEST, and now he's asking myself, will I start using it today and then tomorrow it's not available? How do you guarantee the farmers that this product will be available in the market as long as the company exists?
This product is really interesting because, as I said to you earlier, Job, we are supporting Kenyan farmers by buying croton nuts. How many croton nuts there are, we've got good stocks, but what we've done in order to protect Kenyan farmers is that we have launched this product only in Kenya. Now, KAPI exports. We export to 6 or 7 different countries, and those countries are all very keen on AGRIPEST. But we've said no. We've said that product is, for the first few years, until we stimulate further croton nut production through the planting of trees, we've said we will only supply the Kenyan market. What we've done to try and ensure availability of AGRIPEST organic is that in each of our regions we've appointed distributors. So in this region our lead distributor is Enochem, and then we have got 7 other additional distributors. So we've got 8 distributors in total for this region. Each distributor supplies through to their agrivets. And what we want to try and ensure is that every agrivet stocks AGRIPEST. So if any viewers have a situation where they cannot find AGRIPEST in their local agrivet, please text us, call us, Facebook us, whatever. Let us know and we will attend to that agrivet immediately. The plan is every agrivet will stock AGRIPEST.
Wow, that is interesting. Mwancho mulgeli on Ndizi TV obere kawate banga. Ande wo chiko chaka utumekeli ogeli tutakeli go tuara bo bonde bonsinga ti ogeli boni na chendi tumeke na ende licheriere ma to bo bano bonge abantu to buate usaba Kenya. Kulinde to baza go tuara bo bonde bonse. Irine yo ri ala bikogendra kovaro emete ya kolo kamuna croton nuts emete ni aba emete egenda te gosime kuna aba Kenya asem exege kere emete egenda te gosime kwa egenda te gosime kwa na ite emete iba gosime kate emete ra cha kwa ra bwango iga mundora go tuara na motora cha kwa na benge emete to koro emiaro ba inyo konyoranga abantu emete nende te gosime kwa seiko emete ke ende te kobaro igo mbali go chikutuara kende gyonse alafu naende yendo kenda bere ote bantelinga tutake go twara go bonde bonsinga amalio gara cha kwera Kenya matino bora kanga supply na bera chera tebenga ase bono iga e bataite go siro molemi ensi ya Kenya na anene mono na molemi ore ase ensi ya ito ya asensemo yorogongo ragusi ase iga tebanga mbali go chikuigora obisi chiabo wangu iga ocha sinse chinde hisiko ase ngenjo ni kubata kolende supply re me ya Kenya iko ne lyo nga ndego toka ara ase ibo kabera tebanga abo kunya kwiboli nga iga na chikonyora elyo gelian ase asorogongo rwagusi obera tebanga ase eduka ya Enochem agrovet yego chatanga so iga no ko enda onyole elyo geliao ende kolende bone ko tebenga sing igendo kekere tebare iga ile bagwanje taye uno muligire lyo Ndizi TV ni ko bagwanje taye uno mulemi koruase orogongo rwagusi asabira tebanga mbaji ko gendera ko ene kinga ngutwarole supply ngo ne kibale kera agrovet go chere go twara eliogeli na boigo baji ko ene kinga ayo mulemi wa bono ko abere ko konyeka ko asenchira mo use ase enchira ende ase go mocho mulebe to basa go twara bo bonde bonsi asengencho eliogeli ndichirike ndi mbagenda to ko beke merobeli ko ene kinga eliogeli ndichi go ikira na kiro mundo tiango na limbara pyapa banda to bugata ase chinchira sana bango tena to bugata tra chinchira mitando Facebook Ndizi TV News licho tra sensemo ya SMS Ndizi TV News ana 0792192384 ndo Daniel from Mashpak na bakwaniri amaiga mangerero nigo turagende amatanga kweni omugaka omosike machani se omochie oye aigadaraja mbiri engora yane gocha abantu bonsi bagesusu na mwa guku familia seigo tobere tutuma engora itu ntuna Ndizi TV gocha se enka yomosike machani aseigo ntuna abantu abregeri Ndizi TV tobere tutuma engora itu bogotiana rigeria se ensemo ya Facebook baraga bande totubwati gwetera ensemo ya Facebook mwancho murero Ndizi TV otubwati gwetera se Facebook Ndizi TV News Digital Ndizi TV News Digital anoka bagotubwatia tobe kusanga 90 asitore na Ian Shaw korwa sense ya United Kingdom so yekera so asiamaga cheta Ndizi TV for the first time kusanga 90 so denga Ndizi TV tore international kwa tarabaga dikoru asichinsemo denga kapendo shemateba watching live good morning adoche ultari back Rioba from Embakasi tuned in. And also, I'm watching live from Easy Coach Karoka office. We have Karoka, a place called Karoka. We have another one called Lena Magoma, watching live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Yes. Richard Maangi, our online community from Nyeri, watching live from Nyeri. Rose Hariga, watching live from Sirari border. Sirari border is the border between Kenya and Tanzania. So that is one watching us. Also, Nochikorua City, Kisii County, tuned in. We're going to watch David Mogaka. Good morning, Baba Dogo, to locked in Dani. Boy Gonzalo Kumweba, Margaret Magi, Korua Enduma. Right. Now, are there any possible improvements on the pesticide? Are you looking forward to any improvement on the pesticide as the company is developing this?
Improvements to an insecticide are very difficult because fundamentally, once you've registered an insecticide, you lock in that formula. That's why we spent so many years in research to get it as perfect as possible before going to registration. So it's not like, say, a hair shampoo where you can continuously adapt and change. You're not allowed to change, and if you do, you've got to go back to PCPB and go through 18 months of new trials, new tests, because of course every small change could have a safety effect. So it's as good as it's going to get. We think it's 100%. We're delighted with it as it is.
So it's a guarantee to the farmer that the product is not going to change at any time. It's going to still remain organic.
Correct. KAPI absolutely prides itself on quality. We're a fully ISO 9001 certified company, which means we meet global quality requirements. We have quality control personnel totally separate from production who constantly check. We've got a laboratory, we take samples, we check. Insecticides is our life. We're aware that insecticides are hugely important, very emotive, and there are safety concerns. So we take our business very seriously.
Wow, umanchu marigeli on Ndizi TV. Overa tumanyinga liogeli mbali gigere tu komenta kele gionsi aroro. Tagiyogo bago sieta maisora litumekaleero malobente kemiko deve commento marigeli on Ndizi TV. Eliogeli gochitera likoba organic puna lidevo tambe kenege wach komenta kenege wach korusi aseigo neliogora ro tumekota guati wabonde bonsi neliogoli yakigima liraliko konya ase enchira yawo eliogoli gochiko chenji bunjire ndionsi neliogora ro tumeka ndo twaro kugena ngalinko litumeka na bolirati gonkonya. There was a serious infestation of desert locusts from the month of June 2019 to the February of 2022. In this period, we saw farmers they cried immense destruction that was minted on their crops. How did you respond to this crisis?
This is such an interesting question. We saw that FAO, together with the Kenyan governmental bodies, were tackling the desert locusts with 4 very hazardous chemicals: chlorpyrifos, malathion, fipronil, fentrathion. These are four products, Job, that are banned in Europe, banned in America, and we in Kenya were aerially spraying desert locusts. So the spray drift over villages, over towns, over livestock, it was awful to see. Desert locusts are a once-in-a-generation event. So we were not, with any of our products, registered for desert locusts. So we raced to PCPB and to the University of Nairobi. We had, because this predated, it was too early for AGRIPEST. AGRIPEST was still in trials. But we went with a fantastic KAPI product called Flower DS 4EC, which is pyrethrum-based, 100% natural. We raced to the University of Nairobi, and Dr. Dora from the University of Nairobi undertook trials together with the FAO on Flower DS. We achieved between 96 and 100% kill rate on the desert locust. So to me, a non-political person, it seemed like a no-brainer. It looked like, well, we thought, well, KAPI surely will be providing the safe product to deal with this Kenyan problem. No, we didn't receive a single order for a single litre. The FAO continued to use these 4 hazardous chemicals.
Wow, that's a bit challenging. But anyway, okay, on your honest perspective, and according to research, can your product deal with locusts?
AGRIPEST, I can't give you a definitive answer because we haven't tested it on desert locusts. So I would say that given its broad spectrum of activity, it's got a high potential chance, but maybe the next time I appear on your show, I can give you a definitive answer. We first of all need to catch some desert locusts because we need to do the trials. So I'd like to think so, but in the meantime, we do have a separate pyrethrum-based product, Flower EC, Flower DS4EC, sorry, that kills 96 to 100%. So we have an answer.
Oh, that's interesting. Mwancho muriria on Ndizi TV, nonyerete amatukunari chingi gechiachete. Chingi gechiga chandaba Kenya kegima inatebanga gochibosemba kwa tukuhinanga none product otumeka na berabe yochako kwene kinga yabire gego kora amagana andabunayo. I want us to look at the wide perspective and also look at the whole country as large. Which are the places you've reached and what has been the reception by the farmers of your products?
Wow, we've been on the road now with our launch events for a week and a half. We started down at the coast. We've worked back up. We were in Machakos, Nairobi, Mount Kenya. We were in Embu. We were in our hometown of Nakuru yesterday. Today, in an hour and a half, we're welcoming farmers from this region, and then we shall be moving on to Kisumu, North Nyanza, and to Eldoret, so that we cover the North Rift. And at that point, I think I'll have a rest.
Wow. Mwanchu muriria on Ndizi TV. Obera tumanyinga hayo. Toende tusanga nomo managing director we kampuni ya KAPI Limited. Obera usanga na into obera utokebinga nigo babira utara chinsemo au asbacha krete ensemo ya coast bagacha alse county chorogongo pamont Kenya Embu bakaenda Nakuru batire Kisii mbalige dinare kwanda kuchi ensemo ya Kisumu asigo ne kampuni endete kutara NC ya Kenya nigo bali birundo they are on the run to ensure nga mwanchu muri Ndizi TV kwa beire gokonyora eliogeligo kali gusiota batembera negento gyatemiru kegima Ito kya beri potem kigima erinde kwene kia kya beri gwikirania okugania komoremi. Now, as we near conclusion, what has been, how have the farmers responded to the few that you've visited?
The response has been overwhelming. I think farmers understand the danger of residues. Countrywide. I think farmers also understand the issues with resistance, and I think that they're shocked that this product does what it says and that it's so affordable. So the reaction, we've got a team of 16 agronomists appointed just for this product, for the launch, and they'll stay working with farmers. So they'll do trials with farmers, they'll hold farmer forums. We're speaking to big groups who are very, very interested. Of course, all of the organic sector, but this product is not just for the organic sector. This is for all farmers who have got a desire to feed their children with safe food.
Oh, very interesting. Na managing director of company KAPI Limited, you got the Amagachaye and Enomono as a ensemo ye county ya Nakuru oyobekirana ase student na deniga korua asense ya yechinse cyangumbu abira sanga naitwa mange ase bono ndo chitoisiro ikomotimu omwalio kolende tigango na bagi komwali bagali abene abega korua ingana yaye yo mwalio igoro ye product ye. Now what could be your last words, or what could you like to add or emphasize about your product?
I think that in all of my 16 years almost as the owner of KAPI, I have never been as excited about product as I am about AGRIPEST. And what I would urge all farmers to do is, at the very least, just give this product a try. Just, even if it's just a 50ml bottle or a 100ml bottle, just see if this product is as good as I say it is. If they do that, we'll have so many millions of Kenyans moving over to a safe insecticide that will help to produce safe food in Kenya. That would be, it just would be fabulous.
Mwanju muriro Ndizi TV obera otebanga tema ateme akeigo tata de botumika karaga tema renki okoremberemo na inde otebinga tema yora ranga ngaki elio kora emberemo nago igo otebanga mwanju muriro Ndizi TV eliogeli enchera moyo koenekia nga twabito konyora kindagira chingi yestawati madara ande onsi ase omuberogo ayamuno mwanchwa omoligirelia on Ndizi TV wa ayuninchira ebene. Now the conversation is not ending here about your AGRIPEST product. You are still in Kisii today.
Yes.
Can you invite them to your event today?
I can't because we're full. Yeah. I think the response has been overwhelming. Yesterday in Nakuru, we invited 100 people. We're limited by space, and we ended up with 240 people. So to those who have not been invited, samahani, but we'll get a chance through farmer forums to engage with them as we go forward over the next weeks and months. We'll get the chance. I'll be coming back to Kisii to work with my agronomist and my sales manager, so I'll get the opportunity to meet farmers. So I'm really looking forward to the guys who have been invited, but we can't extend an open invitation because the room's already full.
Wow. I can see a farmer who wants to cry. But there is still a hope. I like the fact that you said, not your last time?
No.
Yeah. It's great to come here and shout the farmers. Mwanju mwere on Ndizi TV vega tawanga niko para chutwara omoje kwa pa sensema ya kwanza plaza korende ni gogo ikira bodo yoba beba kwa ga niga tiaba le mi ara korende eliste de benga ya ichoire asi go kolinda tebenga niko bara chiko genda gocha asoro bongo rwa Gusii linda kwana kinga nigo babebe bakubatarira na wego kuba manyama ngana mange again rete alse ense moyi lakini kolende to basagukumya asengencho niga baliki baito Ndizi TV baraba wekirana alse ense meli na wokoretera kegento buna kera geko baze yonye nyole ti bagali to nyole bagali wekirana oso nyole ti okoranga liko tia sense meli to basagukumya asengencho nigo elyogo elyolitachi nigo torachi kumanyama ngana yonsi asentira yogo ikirano. My director tells me we still have some time. We now we can now get focused on the aspect of want us maybe to a little bit deeper kidogo on the aspect of what are your future plans about this region, specifically Kisii and Nyamira Counties, the neighboring counties?
We have got a mission to bring to market more safe organic products for Kenyan farmers. We are hard in research. You've seen from AGRIPEST, from start to delivery is 6 years. We've got some superb products looking at fungicides, looking at nematicides, looking at other insecticides that we will be delivering over the next 3 or 4 years. But because we're dealing with sensitive products, it all has to go through PCPB approvals, EcoCert, Kilimo High. It takes time. So over the next 3 years, I hope to be sitting chatting with you about all of the other products that we bring to farmers of this region.
Wow, that's great. Mwancho mwaligeria on Ndizi TV, yoto endelego sanga na Ian Show ye oyore managing director as a company ya KAPI Limited. Asabate banga nigo bale asoro bongo rwa Gusii asekerenge kemo ngojibareko osio ya bene eliogo ya AGRIPEST Organic 75 EC eliogo lirabeligo tumeka na eliogo lire organic na eliogo tabwati madara ande onsi ase umuberogo asigo mwancho murgelia on Ndizi TV nengendo torabeto kuligelia asoboime na ende to basago twara abakungu bonde wonsi nengana erabe igero konya ase ubugima bwa o asigo gwikirabwo no to chikogenda ase no to ikira omwelio umuroberio gwensakia asinginjo bono lochenga ebirori abiri kumyoka kolende okay asigo mwanchu murgeria na bere ginkoba saba mjemono asinjitore tukubwatera na kuchakiri mambi asibono toenda tusangana KAPI no mu managing director o KAPI limited yoberabo tumanyia amange igoro ye product yu asengo sabanga asibit kulia lero yanda kotengera Ndizi TV to kumanyia amange igoro ye product ya KAPI limited na nendo gendre koba kusangana barabu nendo to kumanya ase obwene. Maybe before we finish, what are some of the partners that you're working with, or which are some of the organizations and stakeholders working with across the country or across the board?
We're very heavily into pyrethrum still. Pyrethrum, I don't believe is a suitable active for farmers because pyrethrum is so very expensive. So our connection with the pyrethrum community in Kenya is really very strong. Globally, we work with Kew Gardens, which is an absolute privilege. I mean, just as an aside, Kew Gardens was the institution that provided Kenya with its first pyrethrum plants in 1927. Without Kew, Kenya would have never had pyrethrum. So that's what a sort of serious institute they are. Apart from that, I think the beauty of KAPI is that I own it 100%. So we're not driven by shareholders wanting instant profit, dividends, all the rest. It means that we can do things in the way I want without me being accountable to shareholders. So if our focus is to be a moral crusade or quality equal to or above profit, so be it. I mean, the way I look at business is if you deliver well, if you deliver something that is needed, profit tends to follow. We're not profit driven, we're product driven.
Wow, that's great. And now on a general perspective, and I think you can look at the season that we are at right now. I think you're seeing it's kind of rainy season in Gusii land. Just it's a general advice to farmers. Just general advice, and it doesn't have to be based on agriculture, just a general advice to farmers on how maybe they can grow their farming and also maybe
I'd be totally the wrong person to give that sort of advice. At the end of the day, I'm a white guy who would struggle. You know, Kenyan farmers are fantastic farmers. Me giving advice to a fantastic farmer would be so wrong. They need to give advice to me. I can give advice on insecticides, but nothing else.
That is interesting. Thank you very much for coming to our
show. Real pleasure, John. Thanks for inviting me.
You again. Let it not be the last time.
I look forward to coming back.
We are called Ndizi TV, and this region is known for Ndizi.
Yes.
So you are the heartbeat of the Kisii community.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, thank you for inviting me, and thanks for the opportunity of being able to talk a little bit about AGRIPEST to your viewers. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I say I'm not bene. Managing Director of KAPI Limited, as Samarita Ian Show, Uyobere Osangana, Amangana Mange, and Namona Arigete, and Semo, Ye, Yogo, Rago to make an mono ase, was a Ramakon, the Evichuni, Naboiko Aba Dudu, our Asego, Nima being given as one Nabagin Cogenda, as Sumotimo Komoke, asina bingo batiga sama koko Abigael Nyanchama abiga kubaletera igatie chingero kirabe kikoba kimambia rero asingencho rero nilituko liwa tulifado asigo nanda sumutumo komo kolene tuchikoirana asibonega na kikobatiga sama koko Abigael Nyanchama araba koba chingero asingencho rero nilituko liwa tuke Friday asigo hapa tabiri obigirwe bunyemya Ndizi TV na bo wansuko musi.
Ndizi TV.